So one of the big problems I see when people do snatch balances is they tend to either catch the bar too high, they don't spend enough time in the bottom position getting used to having that bar overhead, and they tend to, as a result, rush out of the hole and sort of lose it forward, or they'll end up losing it backwards if they're sort of catching the bar behind themselves, or receiving the bar behind themselves, sorry. So what I'm going to do today is break down the three main sort of snatch balances and give some commentary to them. We're going to go through a pressing snatch balance, a drop snatch balance, and then a heaving snatch balance, which is probably a little bit more of the common one that you'll see. As a note as well, if you hear some sort of external ambient noise going around, it's because I've got my garage door open today because it's a great day outside and I wanted to let some of that natural light in. So let's dig into snatch balances. So the first one we're going to go through is a pressing snatch balance, all right? So this one, one of the main points that we'll start off with is we'll have our feet in our receiving stance or our squat stance straight away. And with this, what I want you to think about doing is imagine that there's concrete blocks on top of the bar. Okay, so as you push down, you're going to push yourself into that bottom position. You're pushing the bar against concrete blocks. They're not going to move, so you have to go down to the bottom position. So let's see what that looks like now.
So the pressing snatch balance, we're going to be here. You'll see I move my feet out to my squat position, set up nice and tight. My hands are in my snatch grip position. And what you'll see in the first part there is I'll keep that bar relatively stable and push myself into that bottom position nice and slowly initially to get a feel for it. And as I get better, my lockout will become faster and faster, as you can see there. With heavier weight, it's a little bit easier to see how the bar will stay in that same position until I come to the bottom position. You see it stays there and I'm pressing myself down under the bar, ensuring a good finish position in that bottom.
The next one that we'll go on with is the drop snatch balance. This is one's going to start with our feet nice and close together. We're then going to sort of pop off our feet or get a little bit of upward momentum so we can slide our feet out and land into our overhead squat position. The big difference between this one and a heaving snatch balance is there isn't a great deal of upward momentum like you would for a jerk drive. It's simply enough to get your feet off the floor so you can move your feet into your squat position and then receive the bar. Generally, this is done a lot lighter because it's a much faster movement and you need to be really snappy with your pressing out and hitting your corners, i.e. elbows up towards the roof. So let's have a look at what a drop snatch balance looks like now.
So drop snatch balance. But you'll see here I move my feet in a tiny bit so they're narrow and pointing forward. From there, it's a short, sharp dip and drive with the knees, push myself down and under. You'll notice the bar isn't getting too much elevation off my shoulders. It's more of an aggressive punch down under the bar so we can work on speed under that bar. As a side note as well, if you wanted to improve and get more stable in that bottom position, you can put in a pause in the bottom position where you receive the bar so that you can get more comfortable there and spend more time there. Now, you'll notice in a few of these, I lose my balance back and forth. It's really important with this that you think about driving the bar straight up and pushing yourself straight down. We'd rather see you catch the bar or receive the bar in a nice low position rather than receiving the bar in sort of a quarter squat. We want to receive the bar as low as we can with as much aggression as possible.
The third variant that we'll go through, and by all means this is not an extensive list of snatch balances, this is just the big three that I see is the most beneficial, is a heaving snatch balance. So with the heaving snatch balance, you want our feet to be in a close position, similar to what they would be for our jerk dip or jerk drive. However, in this one, we're going to drive the bar up as hard as we can like we would for a jerk. Then we're going to split our feet into our snatch position or into our receiving position and receive the bar as low as we can. So the big deal with this one is we're trying to get used to receiving heavy load overhead and getting really strong in our receiving position without having to tax a body trying to go through first, second, and third pulls. So this can be really good to develop confidence overhead, and generally you'd want to see your heaving snatch balance be a little bit heavier, 10-15% over than your full snatch. So let's have a look at what a heaving snatch balance looks like now.
So the heaving snatch balance, here you'll see my feet are in a medium stance. I'll drive down and I'll try and push that bar up as high as I can. So the big thing here you'll see as well is a little bit more room for error. So there's a little bit more movement in the bottom and the movement's a lot faster in general because we're trying to drive that bar up as high as we can and push ourselves down into a strong position. And you'll see in the bottom there as well, when I get in, the bar is over the middle of my foot. I've got a slight lean forward and I'm able to actually hold that position well. Little pause in the bottom. So this is really important as well, that if you feel like you're unstable or instable in the bottom position, take the time and to actually pause in that bottom position before you stand up. It's a bad habit to get into where you hit that bottom position with your snatch and you rush out of it. You want to be really stable in that bottom position before you rise back out. Because as we come up, we want to see knees forward so that we can keep our torso nice and straight like so and keep that bar over the middle of our body.